What's going on, everybody? It's Pelfrey, and I decided it was time to add some cleanup crew to the Red Sea Reefer 250. So I placed two orders. One order was from saltwaterfish.com. I ordered from there primarily because Billy Pipes mentioned them, and him and Pat Murphy had discussed how awesome these bumblebee snails were. Saltwater fish just happened to have them, so I got them, and they're quite expensive for the little suckers that they are. They're like $3 or $4 a piece. But nobody else had them that I typically order from, so I just got them from saltwaterfish.com. Also, saltwaterfish.com was running a special where livestock would ship past, if you spent $75, it shipped for free, and then I paid the extra $15, to have it delivered on a Saturday. So I ordered 10 turbo Astraea snails, I ordered 10 Seraph snails, I ordered 10 of the bumblebee snails, hermit crab, and 2 conch snails. I also ordered some algae and snails and pods from Algae Barn. Now, this is not my first time dealing with Algae Barn. They obviously take care of packaging very, very well. The Algae Barn shipment was just a regular shipment. I actually expected it to come on Monday, but it came today on Saturday, and couldn't be more thrilled with it showing up a little early. You never want livestock just floating around out with these carriers, because even though it says livestock and to handle carefully, they just simply don't. And I get it. I mean, especially this time of year, it's just a really bad time of year to be shipping things. I wish I would have kept the heat pack from saltwaterfish.com. But Algae Barn, on the other hand, this isn't the first time I've ordered from them. Number one, they put it in this really, really nice insulation. It's not terrible today. I am in shorts. It's probably 50 degrees or so. They have a heat pack they put in this brown baggie here, and this heat pack is huge, and it's still warm. But like I said, I wish I had the other heat pack still, because the heat pack that saltwaterfish.com sent was probably, being generous, half of the size of this particular heat pack. And it's not to put them down by any means, but Algae Barn definitely packages their stuff right. If you've never ordered online before, or even bought anything from a store and brought it home, the very first thing you want to do after you've inspected all of it is put it into the sump or your display and temperature acclimate all of your livestock. Obviously, it's a little cool outside. The heat packs are there to keep the livestock, if they are in water, at a decent temperature, but nothing replaces floating them in your tank. And I usually just go a little overboard with this and float them for 20 or 30 minutes, just to make sure that everything is temperature acclimated. And whenever I do take them out of the bag and put them into the tank, there's really not a substantial amount of shock, because they have been hopefully adjusted at that point. Unfortunately, that emerald crab did come in DOA. I've already filled out the paperwork for the refund on that, but it's one of them unfortunate things. And I was really 50-50 on the emerald crab. I put it in the cart, I removed it from the cart, and I did that numerous times. I've just read that they're opportune eaters, and if there's nothing for them to eat, then they will go after coral. The only reason that I even thought about getting an emerald crab is because I have some bubble algae in the tank, and I've been manually removing it. But I thought to myself, well, I can add an emerald crab to the tank. That can take care of it for me, and then I won't have to worry about manually removing the algae myself. The vast majority of my cleanup crew is nocturnal, so I don't expect them to do anything during the day. But I did make it a point to kind of stand them up straight, because aside from I think the turbo snail, a lot of the snails cannot upright themselves. So it's important that they stay upright, and if they aren't upright, that you kind of assist them in that manner. I also have some concerns about the conch snails that I bought. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but I do have a single Halloween crab in the tank, and I do fear that Halloween crab is going to fight the conch snails for their shell. So I probably need to look at getting some more shells. If you have any suggestions on where I can get some shells, please leave them in the comment section below, because I've looked around a little bit and I haven't really found anything that seems promising at this point. When it comes to Chaetomorpha, Chaeto, however you want to pronounce it, I looked around, I shopped everywhere. I did find some eBay sellers, but the reviews just weren't giving me a warm and fuzzy feeling that I should have. And, honestly, this is a microalgae that you don't want to add to your system unless it's clean, just because you don't know what's on the microalgae, and you don't want to just get it from a stranger just because you don't know what kind of problems can come with the algae. So I spent a little bit extra money. I went ahead and got it from Algae Barn. I don't really think it's going to disappoint. I'm happy with what I got. I paid for a tennis ball size, I believe. I think it was like $25. Well worth it in my book. For some reason, the Chaetomorpha seems to be a hit or miss thing. Sometimes everybody has it, and then other times nobody has it, so I just happened to get lucky. I was quite surprised to see some of the inverts go ahead and move around in the tank, which is very pleasing to me. I did turn the lights off about mid-cycle just to go ahead and further acclimate the inverts into the tank. I didn't want to stress them out even more, so I just went ahead and turned the lights off. Having the lights off for half a day isn't going to really make or break anything. Hopefully they can assist with this diatom issue that I've been having. Again, the diatoms go away when the lights are off. When the lights are on, I get diatoms where the light can hit the sand. Otherwise, it's just really a nuisance to me. And hopefully the new Snails can help stir up the sand bed for me so I don't have to do that manually anymore. Right now is as good a time as any to plug my Instagram. So my Instagram is live. These videos are sometimes a little bit behind. I posted a couple photos and there was some suggestions saying I need to move the skimmer to the first section of the refugium and the Chaetomorpha to the second section. And that's exactly what I did. They said specifically if you're going to have pods, because it'll, I guess, eliminate the pods from going into the skimmer. So I did have to move the pump for the reactor into the return chamber. But again, it's not a big deal. I did turn off the lights, as I mentioned earlier. Now, I do have ambient lighting in the room, and that did hit the tank, but it's not really a concern of mine because that lighting is just not as strong as the radions are, obviously. You can see some of the Chaetomorpha got into the tank, and I'm going to have strains of that floating around for a little while until it starts to grow out and really mature. Now that that fun stuff's out of the way, let's take a look at how I'm lighting the refugium for right now. As I mentioned before, I took the Gem 5 lights out of the Santa Monica Rain 2 Algae Turf Scrubber, and I put them on some acrylic. So that's how I'm lighting the refugium for now. I do have the Kessel light, and it got quite a few votes. So I may grab the arm and just test it out just because I already have it. So again, this is a tennis ball size of Chaetomorpha. Let's see how it grows. The nitrates are about 4, phosphates are 0.06. So the pods, the Chaetomorpha, and the Snails have all been in the tank for approximately 24 hours at this point. And I will say that one of the most annoying things about this Chaeto, again, however you want to pronounce it, is the fact that a lot of the loose strands got into the display tank. Not only did they get into the display tank, but they got into my gyre pumps. So I'm fighting this stuff on the sand bed now and just trying to lift it up and get it out of the tank. I've taken the pumps out of the tank twice and just brushed them off. Just nothing fancy, just getting them out of the tank so I can get the loose particles off and out of the tank. Now, I know that whenever the microalgae starts to grow and mature, I'm not gonna have a concern about this stuff hitting the display until I harvest some of it. And at that point, I may look at some type of netting to put over the cutouts in the baffle kit just to prevent this stuff from getting into the display. Again, it's not a make or break deal, more of an annoyance than anything. Something definitely I can overcome. The Bumblebee Snails have been the slowest to move around. Of course, they're probably the most expensive snails that I bought, so I was looking forward to them moving quite fast, but unfortunately that's not the way that it always goes. But for the most part, everything has been just fine. This is the cutouts that I was talking about a second ago. I've pulled out probably, I don't know, half a handful or so of the Chaeto off of these grates here. And again, moving down the line, if I harvest the Chaeto and it actually grows, I'll probably put some type of netting there. I did add filter socks back to the tank about 48 hours after I introduced the pods to the tank, and I started the skimmer up about 48 hours. I think Algae Barn recommends 24 hours on the filter socks and on the skimmer, but I just prolonged it a little bit. So we'll see how the pods do. I'd really like to keep a mandarin, but from what I understand, mandarins actually will eat frozen and pellets now, so maybe that's an avenue that I look at some point. Taking a look inside one of the buckets, that's just some of the Kato that I pulled out. I did what's the word I'm looking for? I did move the gyre pumps to a more vertical situation, just so I could try to move some stuff through the tank. And whenever the pumps are situated like this, they can actually reach the sand bed quite a bit better and get some of this macroalgae off of the sand bed. And to close out real quick, again, thank you for following along with this. I do appreciate everyone's input. This brush right here that I got from Bulk Reef Supply has been priceless for all types of tank tasks. I do recommend saltwaterfish.com. Check them out. Maybe they'll have that $75 livestock free shipping again. Obviously, Algae Barn is a top-notch company to deal with. You really can't go wrong with Algae Barn, and their packaging again is top-notch. So with that being said, be sure to check out the website at pelfrey.net. Check me out on Instagram at pelfreysreef. We're gonna keep corals in this tank and we're gonna thrive.